Hi, my name's David Dowdy. I own Action Coach Lake Norman, and I am thrilled to have Jessica Law of A Dog Salon here on the Business Spotlight series today. Jessica, great to have you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and about the dog salon.
Yeah, so the dog salon has been in business since 2005. We are an industry leader in the dog grooming and community in Charlotte. We are full service, mainly grooming. We do some creative color. We have a staff of 20. Yeah,
Wow, and you said from 2009? Is that
2005.
2005? So you,
Yeah, almost
gosh, almost 20 years. Congratulations. Uh, that's amazing. I'm sure you didn't start out with a team that large. Um, so if, so tell us, if you had to start all over again, what do you think you'd do differently, knowing what you know now?
That is an interesting question because I'm a huge proponent of taking ownership. So good, bad, ugly, I want to experience what it is. So I wouldn't actually do one thing differently. Um, the experiences and the lessons that I've learned along the way are why I'm sitting here right now. And those are valuable to me.
I got you. So surely there was some learnings. What are a few of the big learnings that you had coming out of the gates?
I mean, I was 25 years old when I started running a company. I had no experience, no education in this, no formal training. I had a little bit of management experience and it was just sort of dropped in my lap. So it was sink or swim, figure it out.
So
And that's what I did.
did you purchase the business or did you start it?
I purchased.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So do you mind me asking how big the team was at the time?
3 people.
Okay,
We're in a 1,600 square foot building. 3 people. It was a fraction of the company it is today.
sure.
So been through a lot.
So it's interesting. If you were to think about it, having purchased a ongoing business that had a team of three, certainly they had some processes or things in place. Maybe some of the people were not ideal for your business, but it worked for the previous owner. So you're
Uh,
laughing like there was a transition there, right? To-
yeah. Could you imagine a 5-year-old coming in and saying, "Hey, I'm your boss now"? I wouldn't be cool with that. So I had to figure out how to meet people where they're at and respect in a way that I didn't even know what it meant to do as a 25-year-old. You're like still an infant at that age, I feel like. Funny enough, 2 out of the 3 are still here today. We figured it out and
wow.
we had a lot of ups and downs along the way, but I accredit those 2 people to a lot of my success.
That's impressive after all these years that they're still there. Good for you. So there's misconceptions about what it's like to be a business owner. There's, a lot of people go into business starting, and so they're kind of building it as they go. You bought an ongoing business, so um, maybe a little bit of momentum there. But what are some of the misconceptions maybe that you had prior to being a business owner, and then once you are a business owner, what's the difference?
Um, I I think it was more for me. I didn't know what to expect, so there wasn't a misconception necessarily. It was the unknown completely. What is
Mm,
owning a business? What is legally? What is legally does that mean? Financially, what does that mean? Managing people and dogs and clients and who cleans the bathrooms and who orders the supplies and figure it out real quick who does, you know? So I wouldn't call it misconceptions. I would just call it complete lack of knowledge.
Because so you didn't have business experience prior to
Not
purchasing
at
the dog salon.
level. I had some management experience. I've always managed from a young age,
Yeah.
been very responsible from a young age. So I had like the grit about me. There was something there to build off of.
Hmm.
Certainly, the responsibility of ownership is a different beast.
And it's not everybody realizes until they get into it themselves that, the marketing aspect, getting the leads, converting the leads on the sales side, actually delivering the service, and then there's the money aspect.
Yeah.
You know.
And lucky for me, I guess the marketing side is what I could immediately bring to the table because that's what my education was in. So small business branding and knowing how to advertise. And it was still that sweet spot where social media wasn't like this wild animal that you had to learn an algorithm and understand the game of
Mhm.
it. It was much more, I don't know, like word of mouth was huge for us. Showing up in our community was huge for us. We got a lot of press early on. We were in USA Today. We were on TV a lot locally. That all definitely was impactful in the growth of the company. And from there, we've just kind of learned and evolved and shifted as time has gone on and the world changes and social media becomes more prevalent. You just learn to roll with it.
Yeah. So if you build the business on word of mouth, and boy, it's certainly valuable to get some great press on TV or print. So what do you see working most or best for you these days from a lead generation standpoint?
We employ a high talent level here. Our staff is extremely skilled. So for us, our repeat clientele base is everything. They
Gotcha.
are the bread. And then obviously these people have friends, they have family. You see a beautiful looking dog walking down the road, you're going to ask questions. So to this day, that's still, for us, I would say our biggest asset.
Uh, and it's the least expensive from a marketing strategy as well, right? That certainly plays into some things. From a gr
Yeah, but it's like a different beast of burden for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So word of mouth, is there anything else you'd attribute your growth to? Certainly you're delivering a great service if people stay with you that long. Um, Tell me, has it always been that good?
Um, there's definitely been ups and downs. We've had to go through a lot as a company. We were in the same location for 12, 15 years in Plaza
Mm,
Midwood, and we lost our location. They decided to gentrify the neighborhood and build something new there, and everybody was kicked out, including us. We were very lucky to find our new home. Um, and then COVID happened. So like it has been growth, overall consistency, but with dips, because things happen. The world
yeah,
keeps so
one challenge after another. So assuming you don't work 24 hours a day, there's some personal life, um, some balance between the work demands and personal life. As a business owner, how do you manage that? How do you keep things in certain compartments, or do you?
no, right? That is very tough. I'm a mom of three, five
Oh,
years
wow.
and under. And then I
Wow.
have this company and I also I'm an entrepreneur at heart, so I have a lot of little side things that I messed with too. But I attribute my balance to being married to a wonderful man who allows me to pursue and dream big and work hard. Um, a lot of communication between us, a lot of communication between our management team here, the staff here. That's what it's all about, open communication.
Yeah. Is he involved at all in the business?
No, he's got his own things happening. So,
Is that right? Okay. Okay. And sometimes that's for the best, right?
yep.
I work with a lot of husband-wife teams, and it
Yeah.
adds to the
Maybe one,
complexity.
not today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, good grief, you've got a large team, and it sounds like two of the three original are still with you. So you must be doing something right in the hiring process or in the retention process. Give us a little insight into your secrets to find the right talent and even maintain them. Give them a reason to stay as long as they do.
Yeah. So once we cover the basics, the initial interview of making sure like personality and technical skills are covered, we generally bring people in for like a working interview or have them shadow us. And during that time, we do our best to like bring out their real personality and make sure this person is going to be a fit in this environment. Because the dog salon harvests, and we've always done this. We've been very inclusive. It's a creative environment, and
Mhm.
that's not for everybody. So it's really important to find the right personalities that are just going to sort of seamlessly feel at home, feel safe, want to show up, have open communication, and be here as a team. We function as a team, or else none of this works.
Right. Right. Do you find yourself having, with over the years that you've been doing this, that there's certain generations or some differences in how long people tend to stay in this occupation, or is it come and stay forever?
Yeah, there's been a little bit of that, but I'm certainly not going to hate on a millennial crowd. I actually am within that,
Right.
or
Right.
younger generation. I just think work culture in general has changed a lot. So going back to like having that open communication and setting your boundaries as a leader from day one of what your expectations are and how it is that you run the company is super important. So that way, throughout time, as something comes up, like you have things, a handbook or conversations documented where you can go back and be like, hey, we've talked about this. I think also too, listening is a huge skill as a leader, like actually hearing what people want and being willing and open to make the change and put your ego aside sometimes. It's important.
Right, right. So from the communication is so critical with the team. And so do you have a regular cadence that you do that, whether it's team meetings or one-on-ones that you've found to be more effective
Mhm.
than other options?
Yeah. Prior to my moving out of state, I sort of restructured my company after this amazing book called Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. I love it.
Fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
It's a
And
great read.
he's a big military guy. It's so
Yeah.
good. My goal is to see him live one day. Anyway, so we're sort of set up like the military in here, honestly. Like I sort of sit up here. I have a great, strong management team right under me that I talk to directly instead of trying to tell the same thing to 20 individuals. It's sort of like a tier system that
Yeah.
trickles down.
Oh, fantastic. Well, that's a great read, and to get the buy-in and the ownership mentality throughout the
Yeah.
team, that's
Yeah.
fantastic. Okay. So
Right.
as we kind of bring it to a close, any other words of wisdom or nuggets that you might share with emerging entrepreneurs or those that have been at it for a while and just kind of getting into a rut? Um,
Yeah. Well, certainly I don't buy into the belief that entrepreneurship is for everybody. It was very trendy for a while, or started to become very trendy. I think it takes a lot of brain power and emotional intelligence to run a company and do it well. And if you can't regulate yourself and your emotions and be willing to show up every day, it ain't for you because that's what it is. It's not pretty. People don't see the sleepless nights and the anxiety that goes into it, but it's all there on the back end.
And that's interesting as it ties back into where we started our conversation of you didn't really know coming in what all you were getting into, but all of a
Yeah.
sudden it's all on your shoulders.
Here we are.
Here we are. And what, 20 years later, nearly 20 years later, that's fantastic. So congratulations on your successes. So Jessica Law, with the Dog Salon, if somebody wants to reach out to you or find out more about your business, what's the best way to do that?
Sure, we have a website, obviously, thedogsalon.com. We're on social media, at the Dog Salon, big on Instagram. I'm trying to learn TikTok. I don't know, do the Instagram. But yeah, you can find us pretty easily with Google.
Awesome. Thanks so
Yeah,
much, Jessica, for being on the Business Spotlight.
thank you.